So we're excited to talk about Gen AI. Have you heard about Gen AI? Seems to be the topic
I,
of the moment.
I've heard a little bit about this. Yeah.
Okay. And we've heard a little bit about it too. And we've decided to spend most of the past 6 months building something pretty cool at Visage that we call Hopward. It's kind of for Gen AI answer to the issues of sourcing, hiring people. So excited to talk about that, and of course, talk about those topics around the Gen AI. And go for a few slides with you.
Yeah. So I like this deck. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about Hopward so we've got some framework for
Hmm.
what we're referring to.
Yeah, I mean, some of you will know Visage, which is the sourcing engine for large employers like enterprise type. They typically come to us when they want to accelerate their top of the funnel candidate sourcing. They don't want to hire more sourcers, or they want to make their recruiters more efficient than on LinkedIn. So that's kind of the enterprise specialist on sourcing angle. Uh, and we thought, based on this engine, can't we build a conversational approach, a conversational UI based on, large language models. So you can have literally sitting next to you or chatting with a recruiter copilot, someone who will be able to understand what you are looking for, will be able to help in refining the job description, finding the candidates, approaching them in the right way, in a personalized fashion, help you rank them, all these sort of things. So the idea is, and really the positioning for this product is, if you're a small company, a hiring manager or an HR person, not necessarily a recruiter, and you are thinking about hiring or you want to hire someone and you don't want to go to a recruitment agency, Hopward is your friend. That's really the positioning. So exactly, you can expect the same service as a recruitment agency. It's just faster, better, and it's in a beautiful interface that I'll have the opportunity to show you in a minute.
I love that. One of the things about dealing with a third party agency to do recruiting or sourcing is sometimes you wish that you could just keep them on the phone all day and talk through the search and be right there. And it sounds like that's what this can do. Can Hopper actually generate search strings and things like that to go search for
Yeah,
candidates? Wow.
it does in the back. It does in the background. So essentially, you just stick your job description on it, and then we are going to in the background generate the search strings for you, search the candidates, present them to you, get them interested. So we've really replicated the experience you'll have working with a recruiter, a third party recruiter, where you've
That's
got
cool.
this intake phase and so on. And as you said, the benefit is that you know how sometimes you are looking for an accountant, you need to call one recruiter, then software engineer, you need to call another recruiter, and
Right.
so that's Hopward can help you on all those jobs. We are very agnostic and be very specialist, help you rank those candidates. And on the other side, uh, what you said earlier is like you wish you had your recruiter on the phone all the time, and that's what it is. You've got your 24/7 interaction. You can ask questions, dumb questions. The AI is gonna correct you if you are heading it's like having a recruiter who is indefinitely patient, who's got indefinite time,
And resources.
who and resources, and so it's pretty powerful. I mean, I've been a recruiter for many years, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, wow, this is really cool.
And will Hopper even ask clarifying questions to help narrow down what the job search is supposed to be?
Yeah, I mean, you'll see. You can, as an example, and something that let's say you receive 3 candidates, and you're like, hey, I I want someone with telecommunication experience. These candidates don't have telecommunication. the bot will respond and say, you have not told me that you needed telecommunication experience. Let me add it to you in the job brief and the search strings. So it's kind of reacting and adjusting. So it's gonna do that too, indeed.
So it's almost your own custom GPT that builds itself around your search every time.
Yeah, so the interface, you'll see it's like ChatGPT. You've got your, instead of having your chats, you've got your jobs on the left. Then you've got your chat where you ask. This is where you interact with the bot and you ask questions, and you get answers, you refine, and so on. And then you've got your candidates profiles on the right. So as you say, it's like a custom GPT, except that it's got all the information about your job description, all the information about the candidates, and then it's got the Visage, famous proprietary algorithms that help you really zero in on the candidates that you need to for a specific job.
Well, that's cool. As you know, I wrote a book recently about using AI with sort of the human touch, called Hiring Humans. And it sounds like that this is the perfect pairing for.
I thought I had the book right here, but
you can't see it with the, yeah.
It's spraying, Craig.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Okay, it's here. Yeah. You and I did some of the work together that is in that book. So that's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, so we've got some cool slides that will give some interesting stats and tips for our viewers on some best practices for using generative AI in your search.
That's right. And, since we went ahead of ourselves and started talking about Hopward and talking about a demo, how about I just do a demo and we send the slides with some of those are some interesting materials for the audience to have afterwards. There are some example of prompts, but perhaps I can simply jump into.
I'd love to see the demo.
Okay, cool.
That sounds good to me.
Let's do that. I'm sorry, I'm switching gears. You know me, I like to wing things at times. So that's not what I wanted. So that's the presentation that we are going to send to everybody later. But in the meantime, I'm going to share my screen.
So I'm going to, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to act as the demo E, and I'm gonna poke holes and ask questions, and I'll pretend like I'm you, the viewer.
Okay, let's do that. Actually, I'm gonna. Can you see my screen with the ChatGPT like interface?
Yeah.
So you've got. That's a job that I posted, enterprise account executive. If you, we can look into the details, but it's pretty much, well, that's the demo effect.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Demo effect always.
So let me go back. So it's a simple, sales job, enterprise account executive that I'm looking for myself. And, I had various interaction with the bot here, as you can see. What happened next? So I posted the job. I'm asking questions about the process and so on. I'm asking if they are going to call the candidates for screening. It responds to me. But let's go, to some of the examples that I've had below. So, for instance, here, draft an email to invite one of the candidates for a 30-minute interview next week. And Hopward is going to respond and draft me the email. Why is Justice, the candidate that is right here, why is she good for the job? And it's going to tell me why she's good for the job. But those are some examples I've done earlier. So just imagine you are a hiring manager. You've got this sales job that you've passed on to Hopward, your AI recruitment agency. They provided you with candidates, interested candidates, Greg, Andrew, Justice, Aspen. what questions or what would you like to ask or do next
Right.
after receiving
So
the
yeah. So you asked an interesting question. You know, what makes these candidates good for this job? Um, because I'm skeptical, right? I don't trust computers all the time, and I want to necessarily understand what's the reasoning for these being the
Mhm.
candidates.
That's fair. So I like the way you start. It's more of an overall broad um, um, question. So let's see how the AI will respond to this. So what's important to note is that in the background we use OpenAI, so that's GPT-4 at the back.
Yeah.
That's why it's it can take a bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
But the in the prompt and the way it's structured, it's got all the details about the job description, the candidates, and therefore can tell you more about that. Okay, so I think it's going to
Mm-hmm.
break down. By the way, we've not rehearsed that at all, Craig. do
No,
you confirm that's we are
I
winging
confirm.
this?
Yes, we did not. This is my first time doing this. Oh yeah, this is pretty cool. Brief overview of what makes each candidate interesting for this job. I like it. And it's based on
So
alignment with the job position. Yeah.
I guess that's kind of a um, so imagine if you are a recruiter, you could say, I want to introduce Greg to my hiring manager. And I'm on purpose, or not on purpose because I've got fat fingers, but I'm not gonna correct the. Can you draft an email presenting the candidates with arguments with presenting the candidates, justifying why hiring manager should interview.
So it's
Kind of the
automatically
usual.
going to fix your spelling for you. I see.
I think so. I think like directionally the AI,
Yeah, it gets it.
unlike a human. I don't know if you've ever tried that, but with the multimodal things, it understands better my poor handwriting
Yeah,
than
I try it with
yeah.
humans all the time.
I mean, as a person with an accent,
Mm-hmm.
I call I order pizza sometimes, and I call the pizzeria and I ask for one pepperoni pizza and one margarita pizza, and they don't understand me. But if the AI does, so
That's right.
so this is kind of the things that good recruiters do.
Mhm.
They before presenting to a hiring manager, they will do a cover letter or they will do a blurb, and
That's
then
right.
they explain. And I used to do that. It takes me like even being trained 20 minutes, I would say, to do that. And
Yeah,
now it's done in second and accurately.
easily 20 minutes. Yeah.
Easily, right? Yeah.
All right.
Anything else that could come?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, certainly drafting a good email to the candidate and I saw that you had already gone back and forth with a couple of candidates. And one of the emails looked like it was hey, we haven't heard back from you. What's up? Type of thing.
Yeah, shall we do a rejection email? Oh, that's the one I hate to do. Being nice
Yes.
and polite.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Draft rejection email for justice. And then you know what I said earlier? I'm pretty sure that job doesn't have telecommunication experience. So I'm gonna be kind of sneaky here. I'm gonna ask the AI, why did you send Andrew, he doesn't have telecommunication experience. Something that, a client or a hiring manager or a
He's
user
definitely
might
going to ask. Yeah.
And again, I've not tried this. See, it puts me, it tells me that I actually didn't say in the job description in the intake call. So what is it going to do next? Updating the search requirements. Put telecommunication, shall we say yes?
Yes.
So let's see, telecommunication in the must-have. I'm not gonna approve because it's actually a real search. I'm looking for a real candidate.
Wow.
So if I approve, it's gonna change. But so you get so what was very hard to do, you'll see there are a lot of kind of conversational AI, ChatGPT like for recruiting.
Yeah.
What is hard to do is to have the large language model integrated into a workflow and understanding the data points, the fact that the context and the data points like the resume, the job. And so that's what took us the most time, because arguably every single action that I've done, you could do it with prompts on ChatGPT. You could upload 3 resume and say, tell me which one is the best one.
Right.
But all these things is like a lot of copy and paste and prompt kind of engineering, and the large language doesn't necessarily know that the context of why you are asking all these things.
Right. So, question. I don't see a way to attach a document here. Can you point it towards a database or a spreadsheet or something like that?
Oh, that's a good question. I have actually not. So, assuming you've got so what would be the scenario here, right?
All right. So let's say that I have interviewed a bunch of candidates over the last year, and I generally recruit for the same types of jobs, or I've just been sourcing for the last year, and I've generally got the same types of jobs, and I've got a folder full of resumes. Let's say I could put it online. I could somehow maybe collate them all into a PDF. Things like that.
So that's for benchmark purpose or for?
No, more like out of all these people who I have sourced or spoken to over the last year, which of them might be a fit for this current job?
What do you think about this question?
Well, it's worth a try.
I'm expecting you to make this break at some point, Craig. You need to.
That's the idea.
Okay, so this is where essentially the way we built it, and that was also a tricky part, is that you know how large language model can hallucinate sometimes. They can tell you they can do things, but they can't. And, well,
and then you have to get tricky with your wording, and it's a pain. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So the way we've like tuned it is that when it doesn't know, it's gonna tell you it doesn't know, and there is a real human team behind the Hopward team that's gonna help you with your request, because it could have said, yeah, maybe, and then you do it, and then it gives you false information.
Right.
So that's kind of another tenant of what we've built, is that if the AI doesn't know, so let's see if what can I expect to pay for this role? So that's more of a generic question that there is we don't have data in the Visage and Hopward database.
So that's interesting. So what I like about this is, I already know that Visage has the largest connected team of sourcers in the world, right? And I also know that you've got an excellent customer experience team in the background working directly for Visage, and I assume Hopward. And so, what's the turnaround time on questions like this?
Oh, you mean these?
Yeah.
It's during US working hours, it's a matter of minutes.
Oh,
And perhaps, yeah, we've got people working behind it because we really want to, it comes back to what you were saying earlier, is that you will want to have your recruiter constantly on the phone, and you'll want to ask all the questions, the dumb ones, the repeat, and that's where we think we're gonna have a really an advantage versus recruitment agency. That's the fact that we can source in any type of domain, industry, geographic location. It's available internationally,
mm-hmm.
and then there is a price advantage. Right now you can simply get a free post a job for free, get a few candidates free, 4 candidates for free, and then you boost your search and you get an additional set of candidates. We are also exploring an agency model where instead of paying 20-25%, you could pay a fraction of that. So right now we are all about giving this to as many people as possible, not only practitioners, recruiters, but also hiring managers, founders, head of departments. See if they can use it and find its use, and then we'll refine the business model as we go.
So this is what the best software companies do, right? They're iterating along with their customers to build a great product. And so, and we know that with ChatGPT, the more information that we put into it, the better it gets. And so with your team actually adjusting on the fly when thrown, a wrench and in improving this product, so the next user will probably have a built-in answer, which is great.
Exactly. And today we didn't quite break it, as in when I say break it, is like an answer that is not as expected. But it has happened when we were testing on our own. But it's really started to be interesting when we put it in the hands of hundreds of people, because then you can see all the questions, all the possible scenarios, and then you just read and adjust and correct the prompts. And so that as you said, that's having the users in this journey is the way you build product those days. It's not, you can't just do it on your own and just release and expect everything is going to go well.
Right. Yes. Well, it didn't seem to break at all. So how do we do a new search?
Yep. So you simply go here and add a new job, and you see there is some. You can either pay for your job search, or you can book time with us, and we'll give you a free job. The reason why we want to book time is we are still in user research mode. We still want to see how you feel when you post the job and so on.
It's good.
What you can expect next is that right now it's the intake is a form. We find that a bit boring. It's going to be more conversational. How can I help you today? I've got a job. Do you have a job description? And so on. So that's what's coming very soon. But you can. And by the way, if you people will have the details but it's hopward.com. Try for free and get started. It's super quick for people to go and I guess we can. We only have a few more minutes. See if there are questions in the audience for us. I know we talked a lot about Hopward and Gen AI. I'd love to hear what the audience has to say. Ask.
So I have a question here. If you enter a job, will there be an automatic search conducted in the background, and how long does it take to get candidates?
So yeah, there is an automatic search happening in the background, and typically you will get within 24 hours. We send you a calibration batch, and that's 5 candidates to see if the search string was heading in the right direction. And then after that, it's the time it's going to take for the candidates to respond. So on average, a client will have 3 to 5 interested and qualified candidates within a week. So to give you kind of a benchmark.
Cool. And is there any sort of industry specific best practice that Hopward is better at?
Yeah, software. We have always been, very strong at software technical roles. We're using the same engine as the Visage. The sourcing engine is the same, so it means that we deal with hundreds of thousands of jobs on a monthly basis in every domain or sweet spot. Having said that, is going to be professional and technical workers, people that are sitting behind a computer like you and me. So we are not very good with early careers, with blue collars, and perhaps not the best place to find a CEO or a top executive.
Right. Yeah. But people with online profiles with sort of
exactly
very specific skills. Yeah.
And not only one of the differentiators is we don't only source on public profiles, the LinkedIn of the world. We also have access to private database, so job boards and so on. So as an example, if you need to source and you believe that those candidates live in Indeed, ZipRecruiter, or some niche database, the sourcing engine will likely have access to that.
Right. And Visage has one of the largest databases of engineers in the world anyway, because you've been doing this for quite a while.
9 years yesterday, man. I can't quite believe that's been such a long time.
All right. So do you want to even attempt to go look at these slides, or?
No, I think we are at time. I would love to, if we can share it. I'm sure we can share it to the audience after. Yeah. So essentially, it talks about the Gen AI, its place in recruiting, what is top of mind for recruiters, what are the different use cases. And what I liked about that is that slide deck is the team has prepared some prompts that people can go and use on ChatGPT like right away and get some support in some of their administrative. What is beautiful about our industry is that it's all about language. You've got a candidate profile, you've got communication with a candidate, with a hiring manager, emails. It's a dream for large language model. Now it's all about packaging that and making a workflow that actually helps someone who wants to hire.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Josh, this is cool. I love it.
Thank you, Craig. Thanks for being with me today, chatting about this, and stay warm and dry, and
dry.
See you very soon.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.